Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, one vision.
Our sources explain it all. For more information on upcoming shows or to suggest shows, email brianhayward2026@gmail.com. And now let's get into our show. Hayward Podworks is vision, deep dives into any topic.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we've pulled apart a really fascinating stack of sources, all focused on something that feels so simple: motivation.
It does, but according to the material we're looking at, it's not simple at all. It's described as this highly engineered life force.
Right, and the sources you provided suggest it's one of the most important things in life, especially when you're facing, real challenges, that it can actually change your life, build up your self-esteem and courage.
Exactly. It's presented as this core necessity. The guide insists that harnessing motivation can fundamentally alter your trajectory during tough times.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Our mission for this deep dive is to break down this specific guide's approach. We want to get past the cliches and look at its core mechanics.
You know how it connects to other emotions like excitement and anticipation?
Yes, and most importantly, the practical step-by-step instructions for actually using it. The material really frames this as the single most critical element for success.
It even calls it a shortcut to finding your purpose.
So the stakes are high.
Incredibly high. The sources really hammer this point home. Motivation isn't just useful, it's crucial for discovering the why behind everything you encounter. It's the engine.
Let's start at the foundation then. The guide makes it sound surprisingly transactional. It says motivation can be embodied by interesting objects or even people.
But the real driver is the reward system.
Right. It sets up this clear cost-benefit analysis. The main function is to get a person to do something specific in exchange for a certain reward or achievement.
It's fundamentally about reciprocity. You do this, you get that.
And the rewards are really specific. It's not just, a feeling of a job well done. The guide lists things like money, compensation, success.
And this is the part I found interesting. Highly coveted or scarce item.
Yeah, why that emphasis on scarcity?
Well, think about it. If a reward is rare or limited, the action you take to get it feels more valuable. If anyone can get it, the effort feels less significant.
So it elevates the perceived worth of the struggle.
Exactly. It's psychological priming. And this isn't just for big life goals. The sources apply this directly to education.
They do. They argue that learners can't genuinely focus on their studies unless a specific reward is there to compensate them for their achievements.
It's the thing that guarantees attention. And this all ties into the bigger picture. It's not just about getting some external prize. When you align your effort with a high-value outcome, it actually changes your mood for the better.
So it's an emotion in itself.
The guide calls it one of the most important emotions a person must feel while aiming for something, because it directly leads to better results. It connects effort to purpose.
Okay, but if it's all based on a reward, how do you keep going when that reward is months away?
This brings us to the connection the guide makes between motivation and concentration.
A really critical connection.
It suggests motivation actually improves concentration, that it's the solution to hopelessness. It provides self-confidence, strength, courage. It's a strong causal link. Motivation helps you clarify that ultimate purpose. Without that, your brain just struggles to figure out where to put its focus and energy.
And the guide offers 3 really practical steps for this. A quick system.
Mm-hmm.
So step 1 is self-evaluation,
which is basically strategic planning. You have to establish strict limits and target accomplishments on your daily schedule. It's not just a to-do list.
No.
It's defining what success looks like for that day to avoid, burnout or getting overwhelmed.
So you have your map. Step 2 then brings it back to that transactional idea we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think of a specific, tangible reward for yourself when you complete those daily tasks.
It reinforces the system right away. Immediate feedback.
And step 3 is maybe the hardest one. It's purely cognitive. You have to stay positive.
Yes, the guide is very emphatic here. Don't dwell on negative scenarios. Don't think about failure. You have to focus only on the positive outcomes, on the rewards that are waiting for you after the challenge.
You're essentially pre-programming your brain to ignore the friction by only seeing the reward.
I mean, that's a perfect way to put it.
And that focus on the future reward, that's the perfect transition to excitement and anticipation.
Right. If step 3 is about focusing on the future, then the next chapters explain how that future pull gives you energy. And what's fascinating is the declaration that motivation and excitement are, and I'm quoting here, inseparable.
You can't have one without the other.
Apparently not. They use this great classroom analogy. A boring discussion just encourages students to drift off.
But if you integrate motivation like, frame the lesson as a puzzle or a trivia game with a reward, suddenly the activity is enjoyable. It's exciting.
The motivation is baked right into the activity itself. It's not just layered on top. And by making the process exciting, you tap into anticipation,
which the guide defines as a powerful form of motivation in its own right. It's the mental picture of a better future state.
It's the fuel. And the best way to build it is to really look into the positive changes that will happen in the future. How will achieving this goal transform your life?
So you link the motivation to that future vision.
And that's how you get the full, rich meaning of success.
Okay, so we have internal drive from rewards, future pull from anticipation. Now let's look outward. Let's start with inspiration,
which is often confused with motivation, but the guide clarifies the relationship.
They do have a similar function, right?
Well,
to provide a reason to pursue a goal without hesitating. Inspiration can be a person, a family member, a special someone.
Or even a pet. Anything that plays a foundational role in your sense of self.
But there's a surprising piece of advice tucked in here about where to find inspiration. It suggests talking to old folks.
I loved that detail.
Me too.
Yeah.
It says older individuals have this comprehensive knowledge and life experience. They're like living blueprints for how to navigate challenges.
It's about leveraging wisdom, not just modeling success. And that idea of leveraging external resources flows perfectly into the role of support.
Right. Motivation can be a solo act, but the source says it's way more effective and inspiring when you have reliable support.
But it's very specific about who qualifies as support. It's not just a cheerleader. No. The support figure has to be an expert individual in motivational activities, someone skilled at strategically increasing your self-esteem and courage while you're in the middle of a challenge.
So, a strategic partner, not just a friend.
Exactly. We see it in the teacher example again.
Right.
The teacher, as the support, doesn't just say, try harder. They provide the exciting game, the motivational environment that's connected to the lesson. Their job is to create the conditions for motivation to thrive.
They create the environment. Okay, let's turn to another external tool, one that sounds pretty powerful. Public commitment.
This is a mechanism for forcing accountability. It's intense.
It is. You convert a private goal into an official commitment by telling people about it. You're putting your reputation on the line.
And the logic is stark. If you make a public promise to do something by a certain date, the potential shame of failing creates this firewall against hesitation.
Your reputation is at risk, so your only option is to keep going.
Regardless of the difficulties, it sounds like you're using fear of social judgment as fuel.
Does the guide mention any downsides to that? Like burnout?
It doesn't really focus on that. It frames it as a shield against surrender. It makes it harder to abandon the dream. It's an effective tool, if a bit intense.
That external pressure seems like it needs an internal counterbalance, and the next chapter provides it. The idea of being nice to yourself.
Exactly. It's about balancing that public accountability with self-discipline and self-love.
So it's not just about pushing yourself harder.
No. The core purpose of motivation, in this view, is to provide those tangible rewards for successfully completing difficult missions. That's how you feel valued and encouraged to continue, even when things are at their worst.
So what matters most is your own discipline and your willingness to value your own effort. You have to be the primary driver.
And finally, the guide stresses the long-term view. Motivation can't just be an occasional burst of energy.
It has to become a sustainable daily routine, systematized.
Yes. The guide says those who do this achieve genuine happiness and contentment right up until the end of their lives. It needs to be present in all of your most important daily actions.
It's the key to a successful life, not just a single success.
And that's really the whole guide in a nutshell. We've seen motivation is driven by high-value rewards and sustained by strategically engineering anticipation.
It's nurtured by inspiration and structured by expert support.
And it's held in place by public commitment on one side and self-discipline on the other.
The end result, according to these sources, is pretty profound. It removes hesitation, builds hard work, provides excitement, and increases concentration.
It makes life more colorful and enjoyable. It's the emotion that resolves hopelessness and provides strength. We started by saying motivation is available to everyone, alone or with help. So, given that the sources say motivation must be present in all of your most important daily actions, here's a thought for you to take away. What is one specific, highly coveted, or scarce reward you can personally establish right now to compensate yourself for successfully completing the most challenging task on your schedule tomorrow?
Define the reward, define the focus. A perfect challenge to carry forward. Thank you for joining us for the deep dive. We'll see you next time.
Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, one vision.
All right, this is Hayward Podworks, and that's today's episode. If this helped you, do me a favor, hit follow, leave a quick rating, and share it with one person who'd get value. Want the extras, links, and new drops? Check the show notes. Until next time, stay sharp, stay consistent, and keep building. Hayward Podworks. We'll talk soon.